Welcome to the WHHI News. I'm McNair. Here's a look at your headlines. Well, if you want to help the victims of Hurricane Helene, you're not alone. Right now, area churches and support groups say they're getting flooded with calls from people wanting to lend a hand, and more help will still be needed in the coming weeks. Hilton Head Island Mayor Alan Perry told WHHI-TV's Bob Stevens that the island has sent rescue crews and even sold a couple of its new fire trucks to needy departments upstate. The Island Rec Center is filling up a large trailer with first aid gear, personal hygiene items, food and camping supplies to truck up to the victims by the end of the week. Many other church and community groups are also taking part in relief efforts. We'll hear from one of those organizations in a few minutes. Well, President Biden is generally getting high marks from Republican leaders for the federal government's response to Hurricane Helene damage. But now those leaders want him to focus on the port strike that's closed ports up and down the Atlantic coast, including those in Charleston and Savannah. The port closures have created panic buying situations in area markets. Senator Lindsey Graham and Governor Henry McMaster say that during Biden's visit to the storm-ravaged areas of the Carolinas on Wednesday, they told the president that he should get involved in the strike because the state can't handle two disasters at one time. 45,000 dock workers up and down the coast went on strike October 1st, seeking wage increases and less automation in their industry. Now, Biden has announced as many as 1,000 active duty soldiers will be deployed to help deliver supplies to communities impacted by the hurricane. Alec Murdaugh's appeals continue up the judicial ladder, but still aren't changing any of his convictions. A three-judge federal court panel rejected his appeal of a 40-year prison sentence for financial crimes without even hearing any oral arguments from either side. Murdaugh was sentenced to 40 years by Charleston federal judge Richard Gergel after he pleaded guilty a year ago. The panel said he knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to appeal when he signed the plea agreement saying he'd stolen nearly $11 million from dozens of victims. Well, the student lockdown drill at Broad River Elementary School in Beaufort Wednesday was unrelated to reports of gunfire at a nearby neighborhood. Deputies from the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office and Port Royal police officers responded to the reports of gunfire in the Shadow Moss neighborhood but found no shell casings. Unaware of what had happened nearby, the school went into one of its three scheduled active shooting drills conducted each year. That's one more than the state mandated 2 per year. The school district says the additional drill at Broad River Elementary had nothing to do with recent threats made across the area that have school officials and law enforcement on edge. Well, still haven't registered to vote for the elections next month? Friday is the deadline. You can register in person at your county voter registration office, online, or by mail. The easiest way to go is scvotes.gov, where you can also check to make sure that you're already a registered voter. If you'd like more information on these stories, visit the news sources on your screen and be sure to check us out on Facebook, X, and Instagram. And if you have a story idea, email us at news@WHHITV.com. Here he is with sports, Justin Jarrett.
Hey, it's time for Last Night in the Loco on WHHI, powered by LocoSports.com. And believe it or not, it's almost Friday, and that means it's time to gear up for Week 7 of the high school football season, which will treat us to a full slate of 12 games, assuming no hurricanes pop up overnight, and a trio of Lowco-on-Lowco showdowns in region play. We'll get the first full round robin in Region 6 4A with the Bluffton Bobcats hopping over to Ladies Island for a date with the Beaufort Eagles, while Hilton Head and Bishop England square off in a matchup of surprise contenders, and May River puts the only unbeaten record in the Loco on the line at Colleton County. Battery Creek is at home for a key Region 6 3A matchup with North Charleston, a game the Dolphins likely need to win to make the playoffs, and Ridgeland hosts Denmark-Olar in a contest that will help sort out the pecking order in Region 4 1A. Elsewhere in the region, a shorthanded Hardeeville team travels to face region favorite Bamberg-Ehrhardt. On the subject of hurricanes, Hampton County hits the road to open Region 5 2A play at Edisto. In the Skiza ranks, all eyes will be on a big Lowco-on-Lowco clash in Ridgeland, with Thomas Hayward hosting Patrick Henry in the only Skiza game being played in the Loco this week. Beaufort Academy hops over to Savannah to face Bethesda in a non-region matchup, while John Paul II plays a region contest at First Baptist, and Hilton Head Prep looks to make it 2 wins in 5 days, but it will be a tough test at undefeated PD Academy. In the 8-man ranks, Cross Schools travels to the Kings Academy. We'll preview every game on the slate tonight on the Loco Pigskin Preview, live at 9:30 p.m. on the Loco Media Network, and we'll be back at the same time Friday for Loco Pigskin Live, rounding up all the vital details from another night of high school football in the Loco. For Loco Sports and WHHI, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Loco.
Thanks, Justin. Here with our weather, Maria Soden.
Thanks, Allie. Yep, so taking a look ahead, it does look like we're going to have some nice weather as we get through the rest of this week and going into the weekend, but we are going to be seeing some rip current warnings in effect as well as we get to the end of this week. So taking a look at Friday, it's going to be cloudy and humid with Hilton having a high 81, a low of 72, Bluffton's of a high 82, a low of 70, and Beaufort's of a high 82 and a low of 69. The sunrise for Friday is going to be at 7:19 and sunset's going to be at 7:03. Taking a look at the tides, high tide's going to be at 10:49 a.m. and low tide's going to be at 6:12 p.m. Taking a look into the rest of the week, a little bit into next week. Saturday is going to be sunny to partly cloudy with highs in the low 80s, lows in the low 70s. Then come Sunday, it's going to be breezy in the morning. Otherwise, it'll just be sunny to partly cloudy again throughout the day. But we are going to see rip current warnings in effect throughout the day as well. Highs will be in the 80s, lows in the 70s. And then come Monday, it's going to be partly cloudy with rough surfs and rip current warnings in effect as well throughout the day. Highs will be in the 80s, lows are going to get into the upper 60s. That's it for your Low Country Crawl Spaces weather. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and next we'll talk with a survivor and also find out about a local event designed to raise funds for a cure. Don't go away.